Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday morning edition of the Moose Minute Project. That's right, June 3rd, getting closer to my birthday, June 6th. Well, welcome. Looking forward to heading to Door County. Yes, got a house sitter, got a pet sitter, all good. Looking forward to a few days away with my wife to our favorite vacation destination of Door County and going to see my buddy Trent at the Cherry Hut. Might have to stop at Bridge Up Brewery first in Sturgeon Bay, but then headed to the Cherry Hut where I've been fortunate enough to sell a couple birthdays. So gonna have music on the weekend, so we'll get out there, and I'm hoping he's got cherry cider on tap again. That is so delicious. So we are headed to Door County for birthday weekend. But this title, Facing Criticism. Have you noticed lately when people are criticized, they don't take it well? They get pissed off. They make names for things. They call people liars or fake. They ban people. They try to overturn things. If your friends did that, let's say you have a really good friend or a couple good friends, and you criticize them on something, and they get pissed off and they don't want to be friends, whatever. Are you hurt, or do you just walk away going, well, I tried? It's an interesting scenario to me because I think everybody needs criticism at some point. Even husbands, wives, whatever may be. And I'm not saying verbally abusive criticism. But if you do things wrong, I do a lot of stupid things without thinking. I think that's just part of being a male thing. But I do a lot of things without thinking, and then I do a lot of things in a hurry. Again, without totally thinking things through. I know that. And Roxanne brings it to my attention. And at first in my head, I get a little upset, per se. But then after I see her perspective of it, she is correct. And I know it is me. So when you get criticized, I get that you're not totally happy with being criticized. And if you're an employee and your boss criticizes you, I get where you come from as far as not totally happy about it. But when you are a figure in government or politics and you get criticized, and if you are a fan of said people in power and they get criticized and you jump all over them with names and name calling and yelling, screaming, whatever, you're just again proving that their point was correct. You understand that, right? If we criticize someone for what they are doing, it also doesn't mean that I am on the other side of the platform as well. I just disagree with what's going on. You know, it's different than when you see how when I see parents disciplining their kids. You can agree with it or disagree with it. I feel discipline is very important. I feel discipline is extremely important, and holding people accountable. Now, there's a lot of talk about, should Donald Trump be impeached? He's already been impeached. It didn't do anything. See, I think that's also where we're coming from as a society now, too, where we are not seeing anybody being held accountable. They talk about it all the time, but nothing happens. Nothing goes anywhere. There's no per se follow through. Seems to me there's a whole lot of talk and puff up and act tough, but then nothing follows through, either side. You know, it's kind of like now we've kind of quit talking about the whole El Salvador thing, and there's people obviously haven't been returned yet. They're still there. And we hear how federal judges say they have to bring him, but they're not. And it goes on both sides. There's not any follow through to make anybody worry about anything. And then now you have people being pardoned because they have a ton of money, or because of, and if you've noticed, a lot of those pardoned, by the way, are for bribery, fraud, financial fraud. One's a complete was a gang leader. Interesting concept. But when anything is brought up, such as Photoshop tattoos or anything like that, everybody gets pissed off. Everybody's upset about it. And then there's nothing done. It seems to be this ever swaying cycle of, we'll send a group this way and we'll send one this way, and we'll just continue to do what we do. It's kind of like an island in the river. It's going to send water that way there. They'll come back together and argue a little bit more, and then they separate again. And I know this has been this way for years, okay? I get it. I hear it all the time when I talk about, Chris, it's been this way I get that. I understand that. I totally get it. It's been this way for years and years and years. My question is when do we get tired of it and make a change of it? And then when do we demand, don't they work for us? We keep hearing that now, that I don't work for you, so you can't tell me anything. I work for them. But do they really? Are they really working for us? Are they cutting their pay? Are they cutting their benefits? Are they doing any of that for us? No, they're taking away Medicare and Medicaid. And yes, I hear some, and I heard the big deal for Ron Johnson, who's a Republican here in the state. Well, he's not happy and he's not going along with Trump's big, beautiful bill. Well, because he's not happy, they're not cutting enough. So they're not taking enough out of Medicaid or Medicare. They're not reducing the spending enough for him to be healthy and happy. And there's also now people saying, though, you're all going to die sometime, so what's the difference? Well, that's kind of odd. They're all going to die too, and they're all a lot closer to death, most of them, than we are, because they're all in their 70s and late 60s and wealthy, and they lose sight of reality. So when do they take criticism to heart? Oh, wait. They're not gonna, because nothing ever changes. They don't have to. They don't have to, because they can run forever. And there's so many people that are locked into, well, if he's Republican, I'm Republican, so I'm going to vote that way. Democrat, nope, not going to vote that way because I'm a Republican. Democrat, nope, I'm not voting for a Republican, so I'm Democrat. When do we cut that out and say, okay, what do you truly believe in? What do I believe in? What do I feel is the most important? Do I feel taking care of our elderly? Making sure there is money there for my grandchildren so when they grow up? Do I believe in treating others right? Do I believe that women should have the rights to take care of their own body and face judgment later? Do I feel that when I get in front of the Lord, I need to worry about myself because that's who he's going to judge, is how I treated others, and did I do that? We need to start investing in ourselves, figuring out who we are and how we're going to take care of things. And then start really looking at and quit following the concepts of a lot of these crazy people. And you're like, Chris, you get on this. I said, do you really think the people in Jonestown thought what was going to happen, or those in Waco, Texas, or Nazi Germany, or wherever you want to look at Halley's Comet followers. They all get brainwashed. Right, left, they're all brainwashed now because I have to be right, or if I'm not, then I'm left, and I don't want to do that. Good God, no, can't do that. I'm not, no, can't be a Democrat, no. What if I told you that not everybody that disagrees with what's going on currently is a Democrat? What if I told you they are looking for the best scenarios for human beings? And yes, those people that are here standing right now on our soil, I don't care how they got here. They could have parachuted in. They could have bungee jumped. I don't care how they got into our country, okay? But to send them back, they still need to go through due process. It's part of our country. You cannot rewrite the Constitution of the United States of America. They have every right to due process. They have every right to have their stories heard. Okay? We have a president that wants to just send, if you're a criminal and you're wanted, you can be sent to El Salvador, to Guatemala, wherever. He just wants to drop anybody off that's... I've come to the conclusion by what it looks like, because they just arrested a high school kid. And, you know, besides the judge who was arrested, not too many of them are white. Just my thoughts. We are a very racist country. And that is sad. It is very sad to think about that we base, still to this day, in 2025, we base things on race and sex. And I will prove a point also on something that has to do nothing with race, but instantly puts hair on the back of people's necks straight up, and it is a rainbow-colored flag. Heaven forbid. Oh my goodness. If you see rainbow stickers, rainbow unicorn, whatever. The LGBTQ, oh boy. Nope. So here's the thing. If they really bother you that bad, shut up, stay away, and don't go near them. I'm very fortunate to have a daughter-in-law, married to my daughter, that is a phenomenal, hard-working girl. And she loves my daughter. My daughter loves her. That's how it works. And they are extremely happy. And that's all that matters. I don't care in a relationship as long as you treat my son well and my son treats you well, or my daughter treats you well and her husband, you know, it's all about that. Whoever dates my daughters has an expectation of mine, and I'm very hard on them. But it seems to me that there's a whole lot of, oh my goodness, that's a rainbow, oh jeepers crepes, they're going to hell. Chris, you know that. You know they're going to hell. I don't know that. I don't. I'm not the one making the judge. But we seem to judge a whole lot of people. We seem to take that upon ourselves. You know, do we put everybody in the same category as far as cheaters, liars, scandalous? No, because we listen to whoever's in charge. So if he's unhappy about it, then it's a total different ballgame right now. And that is a shame, because when somebody says they don't feel sorry for somebody going through a cancer battle, they don't feel somebody going through this battle. You know why? Because they aren't going through that battle. If you've been through medical battles and everything else, in most people, not all, in most, it changes your perspective. July 23rd, 2017, my perspective of life changed drastically. It is short, and it needs to get better. And this society needs to change as well. So, that's where we're at. Thank you for tuning into the Moose Minute Project today. Take time to look at life from multiple angles. And take time to understand where the people are coming from before you just name call, throw things out, and go from there. Have a great day. Thank you for tuning into the Moose Minute Project. I will talk to you tomorrow morning as well. And as always, take time to bless somebody today.